Aloha everybody, shalom. Here to do the final quarter activation reading. For those of you who are new to these videos, they happen every single week and they've been going on for years and people tune in from all over the world. So it's a really cool family of light. We create a grid across the world as we all tune in for this one message together. Thank you guys for your patience while I just set up here. Getting my little setup going. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but the final quarter moon was exact 2 days ago, and this is the first time that we missed it. Usually it's done at least the day before or the day of, but this time I literally spaced it. There's been so much going on. Things are so busy in my inner world, but also in our shared outer world. I'm sure you all can relate because we're living in some pretty wild times. So we didn't do it on Monday, and that's okay because the message is for the entire week. So this message will be for this week until, of course, the new moon is upon us, which will be reflecting the idea that we're stepping into a new cycle. So these videos don't actually have anything to do with the moon other than the fact that we use it as a measurement of time, and we all understand that what the moon is reflecting is something that's going on inside of us and inside all things. Because all things are a reflection of the one. So the moon is just such a powerful way for us all to unite wherever we are and to get such a clear reflection of where we're at in our process, spiritually and psychologically, individually and collectively. So right now, as usual, I'm tuning in from Sedona, Arizona. I say as usual, but last week I tuned in from California. So for those of you who joined that was a little bit of a different energy. But I'm home again, here in the amazing Sedona, Arizona, land of the Red Rocks. Let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from. I see you've already begun. We have Kauai, we have Bali, we have New York. Hey, I'm from New York, born and raised. Let me know where you're tuning in from. For those of you who really enjoy these videos and you don't seem to catch them live, that can be frustrating. I know a lot of you have expressed that. Make sure you just follow me on YouTube as well. youtube.com/RebeccaMagic. If you hit subscribe, you'll get notifications when these videos, the recordings of these videos, get loaded there. I also share other things on there that I don't share on Facebook, so you don't want to miss out on those. And you never know, Facebook sometimes does funny things and my profile might just disappear one day. And so I'd really love to stay connected on other platforms. Speaking of, I'm also on Instagram, just search Rebecca Magic. I'd love to see you there. All right, you're dropping your comments. We have Ohio, California, Scotland, another New York, North Carolina. Awesome, keep it coming, you guys. She says, from her bed in Queens, amazing. I love you all, so good to see you. I'm just shuffling as you tune in. I've been on the go all day, super busy. And I'm really wanting to make sure that I just mellow that energy a bit. Meet you all where you're at. Meet you here, now. So go ahead and do that with me. If you've had a busy day, let it go. If you've been carrying something on repeat in your thoughts, in your mind, if there's a heavy emotion you've been carrying, set it all aside just for this moment. Let's just take one moment to intentionally declare that we are here now, putting everything aside. We're becoming empty, open, ready to receive this message together. Okay, so we're at the final quarter right now, which you guys know, if you've been watching these videos over the years, I call it the in-between week. Because last week we had the full moon, full revelation of the picture. And next week is the new moon, the whole new cycle. So we're in this funny in-between stage where we're going to receive a message that's going to help us close up this last month cycle that we've gone through and initiate the best possible beginning for us to step into the next cycle with the new moon next week. For those of you who wonder why I usually ask the same questions, it's because I feel it's the most efficient way to get to the root of the situation. I only usually pull a couple cards because there's a lot of us here and we like to keep the message simple. But the question I usually ask is, what is our challenge right now? And the reason I'm always asking that is because it's so important. That's why we're here, is to see what are we currently being challenged with, because within that challenge is reflected the lessons that we need to learn at this point in time and space, at this specific point on our path. There's always a particular lesson that is showing itself to us through everything around us, through our environment, through our relationships. So it's important to stay aware of that and not get lost in the material entanglement of what's going on, but to know that behind all of it, there's always one thing, one lesson that is wanting to be learned at that time. The lesson, the challenge, also reveals the gift. And so you want to think of that when we're pulling the card to ask what is the current challenge, you want to also be able to see its opposite. The opposite always lies hidden within. This is law. So when we pull the challenge, we're really focusing on the gift, and the challenge is just helping to guide us there. So just a little bit about why that's the question I usually ask, in case you were wondering. So at this final quarter moon, and thank you archetypes in advance, faces of the one, so grateful for your guidance. For the final quarter moon, how can we best close up this last chapter and set the stage for the new? What can we do right now? What is our priority focus? What is the challenge collectively that we're experiencing? What's it for? Why? What are we doing the challenge for? What is it preparing us for? And a message about, I'm feeling this coming through, so I'm just going to go for it. A message about how are we or how are we not being supported by our environment and our surroundings, so our outside world. Although it is a reflection of the inside world, I want to specify that this question is in regard to what is seemingly out there. Okay, so it's going to talk about how our environment, meaning relationships, job, whatever, is either supporting us or not. Okay. Starting with the challenge. Nine of Pentacles. Nines are endings, nines are completion. And the suit of Pentacles, most people are told that it represents the element of earth. But actually, it represents the element air. And then that concept, because air is mind, thoughts, the conception, that comes into materialization. So Pentacles is actually the suit of air. And I talk a lot about this in my book, in both of my books, and in my videos. So if you want to know more about manipulations, I'm definitely here to help you out with that. Again, Pentacles is actually air. So here we're coming to like this manifestation, this completion of some manifestation that is a reflection of something going on inside. Okay, so right now we're going through this challenging time where we're, in regard to this particular archetype, realizing that what we thought would bring us happiness may not be actually doing that. Okay, so it's like you may have been working towards something for a long time, but once you begin to actually manifest, the fruits of your labor, or once you actually start to reach that level of what you would have once considered fulfillment, is no longer fulfilling. And that's okay. That's fine, because we're always shifting, we're always changing. The only constant is change. So if you find yourself coming to this space, and not everybody's experiencing it this way, I'll talk about the other ways you may be experiencing it, but I think many of us are coming to this point where we're feeling like, I'm finally manifesting this thing that I've thought I wanted my whole life, or maybe for a long time, right? But it doesn't any longer feel fulfilling. It doesn't feel like what I want anymore. So instead of like sitting there and looking at that, like, this doesn't feel right, this doesn't feel right, this doesn't feel right, instead we need to remind ourselves to be present, be here now. Shift to that observer's perspective and go, are these thoughts helping me right now? Is Is me worrying that, oh my God, I put all this time and effort into it and now I don't want it. Me having that thought on repeat. Is that going to help me in any way? Is it going to help me progress? No, it won't. It won't. If you just sit there and think, oh my gosh, I've been going this way, and now I realize I don't want to go this way, well then don't go that way. Well then go a different way. You can go your own way. For real. You can go any way you want. The opportunities and the potential is infinite. So when you find yourself at those points and you feel like, darn, I feel like I have to start all over, that's okay. That's okay, because remember that whatever effort you put into the material manifestation that you for some reason feel you no longer want, all of the work that you did on the inner planes and on the unseen planes of existence, all of that work that you did can never be taken from you. It can never be lost. It's not gone. So everything that you learned in that time, all of the character development, all of the realizations that you made, however big or small, the size doesn't matter of the revelation, but all of the learning that you did along the way goes with you forever. That's the thing. We need to remember that none of this physical reality, none of the material stuff, even the bodies of the spirits whom we're in relationship with, none of that stuff is permanent. The only thing that stays with us forever is light. It's eternal. And so our goal here is to expand that light and know that that's the best possible thing we can do with our existence. That the most purposeful thing we can do is to come here into these bodies, into this existence, and commit to producing more light. Because if we give our energy to producing more light in this world, to expanding the light, then that light will last forever. It's an investment that is the best investment you could ever make. When you do that, you invest in the one, you invest in us as a collective consciousness and the well-being of that whole into the future yous, future generations that are you and me. And so that's the most important thing. We got to take it to that level of awareness. We have to take it to that level of the bigger picture to be able to understand this. So again, when you come to a point and you find yourself thinking things like, I worked really hard for this, so I actually don't want it anymore, or I don't know what I want, or, you feel stuck in the process of manifestation. So maybe you don't feel, upset with your manifestations. Maybe you just feel like, what's next? Or this is not enough. If you're in this process of trying to manifest something, a project, a relationship, or whatever it is, just understand that when you find yourself frustrated or confused about the process, take it back to the fundamentals. Take it back to this understanding that the ultimate thing that we're here to manifest, which is what the Suit of Pentacles represents, thoughts to things. The ultimate thing we're here to manifest is that light. Is more of the one thing that is back of all things. It's the only one thing that is real here, that is everlasting and eternal. Nothing else matters. Everything else falls into place when we get that priority right. So that's what this message is here. It's saying our small mind goes, oh, like a level of completion, right? 9 of manifestation. Ooh, what does that mean? Like I finally got the car that I wanted, or I finally got the house that I wanted, or I'm finally able to retire. On a surface level, those are, representations of what we're talking about here, but we want to go all the way to the depths. It's not just about completing a manifestation, manifesting something you want. It's about taking it to the collective level, which is what we're here doing right now in this reading, because this is not about our small selves, this is about us as one, right? When we really think about that bigger picture, what are we really here to manifest? What will really bring us that feeling of fulfillment and completion? How can we direct our thoughts and our awareness into the proper channels that are going to manifest many things, not just one thing, but bring many things into manifestation that aren't only going to bring us to a feeling of fulfillment, but us as one to a feeling of fulfillment. And remember, whatever it is you're trying to manifest that you might feel frustrated about or unfulfilled about, whatever it is, even if you feel fulfilled and you're about to get a diploma or retire and you actually feel fulfilled, even then, when all things seem hunky-dory, right? Even then, her message is saying, be intentional with your process right now. And whether you're frustrated or you feel fulfilled with your manifestation process, she says this, you need to remember to check yourself and ask, why do I feel disappointed in this in the process of manifesting X, Y, or Z? Why do I feel disappointed? Or why do I feel fulfilled that I'm manifesting X, Y, or Z? Why do I feel the feelings that I'm feeling around whatever it is I'm trying to manifest right now? And then how can I remember the bigger picture, that we're here to manifest that feeling of fulfillment and completion for the whole, that we're here to direct our energy in ways that are going to bring prosperity to the whole. When we do that, it shifts us. So for example, if you feel frustrated that you're not getting that thing that you want, if you really sink into meditation and you really take yourself back to that understanding that we're here to manifest prosperity for all, not just for the small self, it helps you to kind of let go of your sob story, right? Like put down the world's tiniest violin, kind of say, I guess it's okay that I'm not getting that car that I want or that job that I want. I guess it's okay that I got it and I'm not even happy, because you know what? That wouldn't have brought me lasting happiness anyway. That wouldn't have been a sustainable method for achieving happiness anyway. And so you start to feel lighter, and you start to kind of let go of the frustration, and you start to maybe shift your way of thinking and get on a new project. You instantly feel grateful because you remember that I didn't need that thing anyway. Wow, fine, everything's good. Okay? Or maybe you're, like I said, you're the other example. You're the person who's manifest something right now and you feel fulfilled. You're excited about it. Okay, can we take your excitement and that feeling of passion to the next level? Because it's all about growing gratitude. So whether your level of gratitude is way down here or up here, there's always more we can rise in gratitude. There's always more, is my point here with this, okay? So if you feel already grateful for something you're manifesting, how can you take that feeling and connect it to the whole? Okay, so for example, if I say, let's say I'm like, oh, I'm really grateful I'm about to buy this car, right? Car is a good example for a material item. Then you might say, I'm really excited about it. Okay, well, let me consider the whole. How is this going to help the whole? And you may start thinking, and this is all up to the individual, okay, in your meditation, but you may start thinking, wow, now I have this car to run errands, help my friends run errands, or buy food for my family, or, with this car, I was already happy that I'm getting it, but now that I'm remembering the whole and that that's what this is really about, I'm going to intend on, so I'm going to set the intention consciously, I'm going to intend on using this car to do good deeds, to help people, to maybe give someone a lift that needs it on the road, or to, you have an elderly friend who can't cook for herself. Maybe you're going to use that car that you're getting to drive over to her to deliver a home-cooked meal, okay? So the point is, no matter where you're at with your level of gratitude, you can go deeper, and it's about connecting it to the picture of us all as one. The other thing is, when you connect, and this is a secret from the Suit of Pentacles, okay, this is an archetypal secret. When you connect your manifestation process to people and things, places that you love, okay, but like really things that conjure up that feeling of love in you. And sometimes it's as simple as a fuzzy blanket, maybe, that you had since you were a kid. You touch it, it brings you happiness. If you take that feeling right there and you connect it to your meditation when you're visualizing what it is you want to manifest, it supercharges that manifestation, because it connects it to this higher part of you that is a frequency and expression of gratitude and love of the deepest kind. And you feel it deep within you. Whatever brings you that deep feeling of gratitude and joy. Usually people we love, right? Number one. You think of someone you love when you're trying to manifest something. And it supercharges the manifestation. When you connect what it is you want to manifest to the love, it's more powerful. But get this, let's take it to the next level. When you connect what you want to manifest to the divine plan of bringing prosperity to all beings, bringing heaven to earth, then whatever you want to manifest, so long as it is in alignment with bringing more goodness to earth, it will be supported by the entire universe. When you support the whole supports you. When you support nature, nature supports you. Okay, that's why they say, for example, like law of attraction coaches will tell you, when you want to manifest a lot of money, you got to think about how you're going to use it to do good things. You got to envision using it for service. You have to envision what you're going to... First, they say envision what you're going to do with it. Most people picture playing video games, buying 10 cars, getting a mansion. whatever, right? But it will only go so far. It will only go so far if they do that. Now, if instead these people were aware of the wisdom from the tarot, royal path, they would know that you don't only want to picture yourself using that money already, you want to also picture using it for a higher cause. Duh. Because if you don't do that, why would the universe support that? Why do you really think the intelligent design of the universe is going to go, yeah, she wants that mansion, I'm going to bring it to her real fast? Like, why? Like, you need to create the necessity. You need to create the reason. You need to create the purpose and let it be one that is divine, because then the divine will support you. You support the divine supports you. You support creation, it supports you. This is the divine design of life, of consciousness. Okay, so understand that. The more you connect what you want to manifest with goodness for all beings, with the intention of using it for the sake of the Creator, then it will right away be yours. And you can really supercharge your power as well with this process when you consider that you got to know that God or Creator, Source wants the thing for you that you're wanting to manifest. Because deep inside, we often feel we don't deserve it, or we feel that like, why would God want to give this to me? Why? Like, there's some deep subconscious programming that blocks us or limits us from receiving. You want to trick yourself. And it's not really a trick. It's actually the truth, but we have to trick ourselves because we're so conditioned into this lie that we're undeserving. So we have to trick our minds into knowing that God wants your prosperity. That God absolutely wants your prosperity. Now, if I'm behaving poorly and I'm carrying a frequency of vice and I'm just, rather than promoting life, I'm destroying it, right? Like, say I'm a bad person, okay? I may not be as supported because I'm not supporting life, so life is not supporting me. That's just the way things work. That's just the way things work. We don't get to be a parasite here forever. The earth will spit us out, swallow us up, whatever it will do. That's the thing. So you can't just be a greedy, selfish person. That's not how it works here. That's not how it works here. So you want to make sure that you connect whatever it is you're trying to manifest with the knowing that God wants to give it to you. Because why wouldn't he, right? But that's where the meditation begins. Sometimes we think, oh, well, why would God want to give it to me? Creator would want to bring you anything that's going to support your wellness and your prosperity so that you could do more good things for the world. The Creator wants to support the well-being of all of creation, of all life. So if you ask for something and you know in your heart, you know that what you're getting is going to help the whole. You can't lie to yourself, okay? There's no lying to yourself, and it's all one here. So God, you, one, okay? Always watching, okay? So with that said, God is always watching. So you know your intentions. If you know that the thing you're trying to manifest is for the sake of the Creator, is for the sake of all of creation, then you should be confident in your manifesting it. Then you should feel so confident in your asking the universe for it. Okay, so we're not only eliminating the doubt and eliminating this feeling of I don't deserve, or why would God want to do this? We're not only eliminating that. We're tipping the scale. We're neutralizing that BS program that we've collectively upheld for hundreds, thousands of years. So not only are we retracting in doubt, we are expanding in confidence because we're aligning our process of manifestation, whatever it is we're trying to manifest, relationship, even a car or a house, things that even seem the most material to you, cash, right? People have so much programming around cash. That's another video for another day. But the thing is, when we have, when we attach anything to a purpose, we make it sacred. We sanctify it. So how can you look to all those things in your life that you've been working on manifesting, or the relationships you've been working on deepening, the things you've been wanting to purchase, to be able to afford? How can you give all of those things a higher purpose? Therefore, subconsciously implanting this program within you so that I have, of course, every right to ask for this. Of course, I deserve this. We deserve this. The one needs this. Okay, and you can't lie to yourself again. Don't be like, God, bring me that girlfriend because she hot and that's going to be good for all of us. Like, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. Okay, so let's take a step back. Let's be extra clear. When we want to sanctify a relationship or justify, the manifestation of a material item, right? How do we do that? How do we give it a purpose? It's like, what do you mean give it a purpose? Like, what even is our purpose? So many people don't even know, like, what is that? What is our purpose? Why are we here? Remember what I said. Remember what I always say. Our purpose, all of us, is to expand the light. This is Kabbalah. And this is essentially what every religion and culture will tell you when you really get to the mystical original roots of each one. That we're here to cultivate that light, to expand the light. There's nothing else more important because only the light is eternal. So what else are we working for? What else are we trying to make more of here? Light. Okay? And what is light? What is light? The original light of creation is the all virtuous light of compassion. And that all virtuous light contains different frequencies within it that are the different virtues that make up the all virtuous light. Okay, so you have compassion, all virtuous, and then you have the different virtues that make up compassion. Okay, so like patience, honesty, kindness, etc., etc. That's it, folks. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. And you're like, how could that be? Our world is so dark and actually full of the opposite. It's full of vice. It's not full of virtue. That's exactly right. That's why we're here. Because it's perfect as it is in its vice and in its darkness. Because without the darkness and without the vices and the bad, we would never have any opportunity to grow. If everything's already perfect, why are we here in this dimension, right? And if we don't have all those bad things, we literally don't even have like guideposts or a map to be able to navigate the opportunities to insert more light or create more light. Okay, so it's like we're in this world of all this darkness, bad, whatever, deception, illusion. But we want to not run away from that. We want to particularly move toward it in a loving way. And remember, everything has within it its opposite. This is law. This is law. So bring on the darkness and bring on the bad and bring on the vices, because I'm going to go right to them and I'm going to know that the opposite lies within. Okay, and what does that look like in my human experience? I think we can all relate. It's like when you feel like, oh, I'm just going to tell this little lie. Like it's harmless. Like it's just a little lie. But in that moment, your conscience steps in and goes, vice to virtue, vice to virtue. And you go, despite all odds, against all odds, I'm going to let go of all of my worries of what's going to happen if I'm honest. I'm just going to be honest, because literally there's nothing more important in this life than the virtues. Nothing. Okay, so in that moment, I'm honest. And in that moment, I transformed that instinct to be dishonest, because that's deeply embedded within our collective psyche, okay? I resisted that urge, and I transformed it into honesty, dishonesty to honesty. And in that moment, I lived my purpose. I fulfilled my purpose in that moment. Because what I did was I shifted the frequency to one that was able to receive more light, to release more light, okay? Dishonesty makes the one, all of us, contract, close up, darken. But honesty shines, because remember, it's a virtuous light within the all virtuous light of compassion. It literally is an expression of more light. It's a higher frequency, faster, more heat, more friction, more light. And that's it. That's it. This is why children are so good at it, because they don't even have to think of this. It's like so simple, but they don't question the simplicity of it. And that's literally it. That's why we're here. Okay, so don't be afraid of the bad things that come up. Don't be afraid of your shadow and your what you might have judged as ugly urge to be dishonest, to be disloyal, to be envious, to be hateful. Don't resist that. Don't you resist that, because know this, if you resist it, you're only going to make it harder for yourself later. And you can't lie to yourself. So face it and be excited. Don't be afraid. It's okay. Your urge to be dishonest, okay? Like, let's say you reflect on that and you go, oh my God, like I wanted to lie. Like, what a horrible person I am. I can't believe I was going to lie. If you catch yourself in these moments, I want you to check yourself, to snap yourself out of it and say, this is not just me. This is a part of the collective. Okay, so right there, it takes off a lot of that guilt. that could have just kept us in a downward spiral, okay? We go, oh, I'm not alone. I'm not alone. And when you remember that, it lightens the load, right? Okay, so now we got that out of the way. Now my load is lighter. Now I can actually be in a space of receptivity to be able to progress, right? So first we say, I'm not alone in this feeling of shame. Okay, and what's more is now I feel empowered because I'm not doing it just for me. I'm doing it for us. So I'm going to take this opportunity to shift the vice to virtue so that I can heal this within not just my psyche, but the collective one mind. That's what we're here to do. To see all those opportunities to transform vice to virtue. We literally release more light into this world. And that light is everlasting. And had we not done that, we wouldn't have produced more light, but whatever darkness came of it would die anyway, because it's impermanent. So the universe lovingly and forgivingly allows us to carry on for as long as we like until we get it, until it clicks. Because whatever we do from that place of vice or darkness or contraction, it doesn't matter. It's not permanent, it fades away. But the light is permanent. So when we consciously participate in that process of releasing more light into this world through transforming vice to virtue within ourselves in those moments where it's so hard, when we do that, we're doing something that is huge. We're doing something that's huge. You're making more light that's going to last forever. It's going to affect all the future yous till the never end of time. So much more rewarding than winning that baseball game or watching someone else win a baseball game on TV. And I'm not saying that's bad. That's fun. It's fun shit. Fun. Woo, fun. But I'm saying what you're here to do is huge. Did you know that? It's huge. So there's nothing more important than this, okay? So remember that what you're here to do is release more light into the world. Okay, so again, guys, the challenge is the 9 of Pentacles. Bringing manifestations into completion, knowing that when we connect our goals of manifestation to the well-being, connecting it to the well-being of the one and all of life, then it supercharges our manifestation and gives us the opportunity to be much more sustainably grateful and prosperous in the long run. Okay, why we're doing this, and this is very clear, 5 of Swords. And this is, so we pulled the Pentacles, and I told you that there's a manipulation in that suit. Pentacles is actually air. Swords is typically seen as air. It's actually earth. It's the element earth. It's all about challenges. Because the challenges aren't real in the mind, okay? We crystallize, we manifest certain programs that we have within our minds that manifest as challenges. That's only in this dimension. We create the challenges in this human experience. And the 5 of Swords is all about disappointment. Feeling like, all right, I may not have won the war, or maybe I did. The point is not whether this guy won or not. It's that he's looking back like, am I fulfilled? Did I do good here? Like, how can I pick the pieces back up? See, he's picking up the swords. How can I pick the pieces back up and rearrange them to move on, move ahead to the next chapter? Okay, so you can see a connection actually really well between these cards. And this is showing me that the challenge is more mental, mind, restructuring our thoughts and our desires to match this plan to bring heaven to earth, right? And then this is more of the physical stuff that we're going through. Okay, so I'm seeing this as we're doing this right now. We're going through this challenge for this foundation so that we can put our stuff back together and keep it moving, so that we can progress, so that we can stop worrying about what's not working or what hasn't been working for a long time, or, what has been lost. We're ready to move on from those challenges in our lives. We're ready to stop leaking all of our energy into a mess that we made years ago, maybe months ago, weeks ago. Okay, we're ready to be done with that. We're ready to move out of this challenging time and just lighten up and direct our energies to where it's going to be fulfilling. Bottom line is that we're tired of giving our energy to those projects that are not fulfilling and And we're tired of being stuck on the disappointment about it. We're tired of that all. So we're ready to just move ahead. And the way to do that is to realign our desires, purify our desires so that they match the will of the one. All right, and this is about our environment supporting us. Woo, okay, I had a feeling this was going to be a powerful question because it popped in last second. Ooh, 555, woo. So this is the Death card, aka the Reaper, and the theme is transformation. I like to look at the cards before and after the one that's pulled because they tell you how we got here and where we're going. This is a major arcanum card, so it means we're hitting a really important detail here now in this reading. So the card before death is 12, the Martyr, aka the Hanged Man. At that part in the story, we're making a sacrifice. We're giving up something so that we can transform. And then here we are at the transformation. And after the death and transformation, card 14 is known as Temperance, aka the Alchemist. After we die, whether that's our ego or a body or whatever it is, then something new needs to come of that. That's just how life works, right? Energy is transformed. Nothing's ever really born or dies. Energy is just transformed because it's all one. So we're at that in-between stage. There was a sacrifice, right? And then it's death. And then it's writing a new script. What does this have to do with our support, our surroundings? How is this card revealing to us whether or not we're supported? This is a deep one, and I'm going to tell you everything that's popping up in my mind right now, and I hope this resonates with you guys. I'm feeling like right now we're transforming a lot of our relationships. We are going through a lot of transformations in our environment. A lot of people are starting new jobs. A lot of people are transforming the way that they are in their jobs, new positions, new friendships. This is a big one coming through. Same friends, totally new beginning. I'm seeing that we are going through so many shifts, one on top of the next, that we are entirely transformed in a sometimes days, sometimes a week, and we're like a new person because of this energetic, shift we're all going through, this paradigm shift, right? And so it feels like we're so different. You can see your friend a couple days from now and you're like, who are you, right? Especially at those times of potent portals in nature. So like, solstice, equinox, full moons, new moons, pinnacle points in nature's rhythms. Those times will really affect the way that we are consciously transforming and shifting, evolving, right? Or maybe unconsciously shifting. So depending on how consciously you're participating, or maybe how unconsciously you're participating in this paradigm shift that's taking place, it will reveal your potential to adapt and change and grow. So you might see some people that are like, I am so different every month. Like I am shifting so much. And usually those are the people who are doing the work. They're consciously participating. They're like, nah, I'm ready for the next. I'm ready for the next. I'm ready for the next. I'm ready to level up, level up, level up. Light body, Merkaba activation, ascension. These are the people who are super focused on their growth. Their change, the way they shift and change is going to reflect that. So even physically, they look like they're shape-shifting. We look like we're shape-shifting. And I know y'all know what I'm talking about. And then some people progress a little more slowly, or some people are maybe progressing more quickly in other dimensions. Doesn't matter. It's not up to us to judge, so we don't need to take it that far. But the point is, everybody's at a different point in their ascension, right? And right now is a very potent time, and we've just experienced some very strong portals. Another one to come next month when summer begins, right? But we had our springtime transition, or fall if you're on the other side of the world. And so there was a seasonal change, and we just had the full moon. So we're shifting again, depending on your willingness to participate in the shift, right? But we're shifting. And so that's reflecting in our relationships and our surroundings. Lots of change in our relationships. So even if you're around the same people, they're shape-shifting, you're shape-shifting, we're changing so much right now. And remember, the best thing you can do is hold space for yourself to change and hold space for others to change, because it's the only thing we can guarantee is going to keep on happening. So this is representing our environment. Okay, relationships changing, new relationships, someone's dying away, maybe new living space, maybe new job, maybe new car. But they're showing me that we really want to acknowledge it. We want to consciously acknowledge. This is what the death card is saying to us right now. Okay, this is the collective Reaper archetype speaking through us right now, saying, acknowledge all the change that's happening around you. Take your time, take your sweet time, meditate on it, sink into it. Do your best to not only become aware of just how greatly everything is shifting all around you, but also how it's shifting inside of you. And as you become aware of all of the ways in which your world, inwardly and outwardly, is shifting, how can you sit with each one and express your gratitude for the way in which it's shifting? And when you do this process, what they're showing me is that it's a mental exercise that helps you to organize and direct your thoughts in a way that feeds the proper channels to bring prosperity to not only you, but the whole. Okay, so this is like a gratitude practice, gratitude meditation. Sit there and maybe even write down, if you have to, a list, or keep it in your head, of all of the amazing ways in which your reality is dramatically changing at this moment, and give thanks for that. And if some of the changes feel scary or uncomfortable, acknowledge that as well. Don't run from that. Don't stop the exercise or meditation because now you're realizing that the changes aren't feeling good to you. Sit with that and ask yourself why. If the changes are uncomfortable, why? Are they changes you should really be making right now? Or are they not? Do you know in your heart of hearts that it's a change that needs to take place, not only for your well-being, but for our well-being as one? Because if so, in that moment, that's when you want to reprogram your thoughts to support that change and to stop resisting it. Or you may recognize that I'm really uncomfortable with this, this move that I'm making to this new house. And then in that moment, you really sit with that discomfort and you realize, that's not the place for me. I need to keep looking. You see what I'm saying? So the changes may or may not be comfortable, but look at them. First, start with acknowledging the changes that are happening inside of you and around you, and get to a place where you're confident with those changes. Honest with whether or not they need to take place. And if you know they need to, then support them with your entire being, mentally, emotionally, physically. Do whatever you can to assist nature in that shift, in that change. But again, if it feels uncomfortable and you know it's because it's not for the highest good of the one, then that's your intuition, babe. That's your intuition telling you that you're doing this meditation for a reason, so that you could put that change on pause and guide that change in a new way with awareness. Okay, so, and there may be so many changes that you just sit there for hours going, oh, I'm grateful for this change, and I'm grateful for that change, and I'm grateful for this little change. And that's great. That's where you want to be, at that level, at that space in your mind where you're recognizing the infinite blessings upon us, within us, all around us. That's where you want to be. Okay, so this little game that we're being shown here, to look around right now and really acknowledge all the changes and insert our gratitude, or get to that space of gratitude for the changes taking place, that is just, it's a simple exercise to get us to be grateful and to get us to embody and actualize that gratitude, so that we can insert it into our environment, into these relationships around us, into our new job, into our new home, into our shifting position at our job or whatever. We want to weave this gratitude that we're cultivating through this little game directly into our experience. Okay, so for example, I talk about a gratitude practice in a video I made a few years ago on my YouTube channel. And long story short, one way to insert gratitude into your life is like every time you touch a doorknob, just like have one moment of gratitude. We touch doorknobs all day. Okay? With that said, what I'm showing you here is taking this gratitude game or gratitude practice to the next level. And thank you, Reaper archetype, for showing that to us, showing us how we could make this exercise more complex and more proficient and more prosperous for all of us, okay? We're taking that gratitude game, but we're tying it to the current unfoldings of our life, the current manifestations in our lives, the people around us, the places around us, the projects that we're currently digging into, that we have our hands in, that we have our minds in, that we're invested in. Because then there's feelings around that. There's chords, there's emotions, and those feelings and chords actually assist us in this little gratitude game as it gets more complex. because it helps us to weave that gratitude into our experience here now, and even transfer it to other people that are around us, transfer it to the new job we're stepping into, transfer it to that new car that we're stepping into for like extra protection, because gratitude does that. So you see, we're taking that gratitude game and we're directly doing that through our current life ritual, looking at what is happening right now that is new and seeing how we can be grateful for the change, so that that gratitude helps push it further along, so that that gratitude releases any resistance that we have, even subconsciously, to that change. We want to support nature in the change. We want to go, what's shifting right now? Am I for this? Does it support our well-being as one? Oh, let me assist that. What changes are happening right now? Oh, this doesn't support our well-being. Let me assist that in the opposite direction. You see what I'm saying? So right now, our world is changing greatly, and we have the opportunity to be supported by our environment and to support ourselves and our environment in return, simply by playing the gratitude game with whatever is new, making sure that we are aligned with the changes happening, that we are grateful for them, because gratitude tells the universe, I'm here to support that change. I'm on the team, bro. I'm on your team. I'm on the one team. When you're not grateful, it's kind of like you're telling the universe, like, nah, I don't really want to help. Like, I'm gonna be selfish over here. Like, I'm not really on board. I don't, you guys could do that. There's no you guys. There's only one. There's only us. So take accountability, take responsibility, and support the changes that need to happen for our well-being right here and now. And if there's a change that you find yourself just being stuck with, that you just can't develop the gratitude for it, I encourage you to sit with that and really look at why. Okay, so 3-card reading. We are right now trying to progress, move out of more challenging times into more graceful ones. We're understanding that in order to do that, we have to set our goals higher in a way that connects them to higher principles, okay, in a way that connects to higher consciousness. We need to align our goals with the well-being of the one, and in that way we'll be able to progress from a challenging time to a smoother and more supported one. And our environment right now, through our relationships and all situations, is showing us that we're going through great changes, and it's time to acknowledge those changes, shine a light on them, bring our conscious awareness to them, and bring gratitude to them. See where parts of us, even deep inside, were resisting the change, and get with the times. So I'm going to do that myself. I'm going to sit down after this video and I'm going to write down a list of the things that are shifting in my world. And I'm going to write down next to each one, what I feel about it, how I feel. I could write pages. I could write a book for you about this, because I love to write. And I hope you do too. But if you don't love to write, draw a picture or just do it in your mind. But I'm a writer. So I'm going to write probably pages on this. And I'm going to go through all the things that are changing, say why I'm grateful for them and why I'm not, and what I can do about that. Because the thing is this, you can't just stop there at like, oh, I'm either grateful for these changes or I'm not. You need to then say, what am I going to do about it? And I grew up learning this in Judaism. I was raised Jewish, that it's all about action. What are you going to do about it? So remember, you don't only want to contemplate the changes and whether or not you're grateful. You want to look at the ones you're grateful for and enhance your gratitude for them. Like making a conscious point to give thanks for those things every day so they keep coming. Because even if you think you're grateful, if you're not expressing the gratitude, if the gratitude is not in action, it's nothing. Everything contains within it the frequency of gratitude. If you're not conjuring it up and expressing it through your senses, then why are you here in this body, right? So when you meditate on that and you say, I'm either grateful for or not grateful for these changes, you then say, okay, what am I going to do with this gratitude for this change? I'm going to show it. I'm going to say it. I'm going to express it. I'm going to share it. Or you say, what am I going to do with this lack of gratitude for this thing? Well, I'm either going to shift that thing or I'm going to shift the way I think about that thing. But something's got to shift because I need to get to that place of gratitude. See what I'm saying? This is the process, okay? So I'm going to do this, and I invite you to do it with me at the end of this video. We're going to sit down. We're going to write all the new changes in our lives, the new things that are happening. Remember, don't neglect to write down the things that are changing inside of you, because those are the most important things. Everything outside is just a reflection of that. So write down what's changing in your mind, what's been changing in your heart, what's been changing inside of you, and then what's been changing in your world. And then sink into each one. Again, even if it's just visualization, writing, drawing, whatever. Sink into each one and ask what you're going to do with that gratitude or lack of gratitude. And then take action upon these changes. And I'm going to tell you, this is a really great meditation to do right now because we are at the final quarter activation, right? Which is the in-between week, as I said in the beginning of the video. So we're closing up a cycle and preparing a new one. These cards perfectly reflect that we're in this in-between stage. And I'm going to show you one more time the numbers. Okay? 9 is an ending, okay? We're ending the last cycle. We had the full moon last week. We're coming to completion. 9s are endings. 10s are endings and new beginnings. So this is showing us like we're coming to the ending, but we're not at the new moon yet, right? And then we have the 5. We're picking up the pieces. So we're cleaning up what just finished, right? And we're transforming. We're ready for the new. We're ready to acknowledge all those, the new things that are happening inside of us and around us, which also, a lot of those new things are just the seeds of more fruits to come. So what I'm seeing in one of the layers of what the archetypes are showing me, okay, because I see, you guys see me looking around all the time. What is she looking at, right? I'm seeing things in other dimensions is the best way to put it. Okay, so they're showing me that this exercise is so helpful because not only are we acknowledging the things that are feeling so new right now, in acknowledging them, we're welcoming them to blossom because energy flows where attention goes, right? So we're acknowledging them and allowing them to blossom and grow so that by the time of the new moon next week, we'll really see the changes coming into bigger and fuller manifestation and blossoming, blooming with opportunities for us to act upon and participate in. So really the new things that this card was telling us to acknowledge in our lives right now are just the seeds. They're showing me they're only the seeds of the fruits. So this process of sitting with each seed and really examining it is so, metaphysically speaking, powerful because it's helping us to analyze the information that is here right now, which will ultimately determine the manifestation of what's to come. So the more we acknowledge what's just sprouting right now, the more we'll be able to kind of cultivate the way in which it grows, okay? So for example, if we have a bad weed in the garden, which is one of those changes we're maybe feeling uncomfortable with, that might be a sign to like cut it or get rid of it, right? And then those things that are just starting to be new in our lives and we're feeling excited about it, when we're grateful for it, we're saying, yes, bring on this opportunity. And so the new moon next week is going to reflect that. So the work that you do with this meditation we spoke about and the work that you do in receiving this message and in acknowledging the newness around you and the blessings and your gratitude or lack thereof around those new things, all that meditation that you do upon that is going to affect what happens next week for you. And it's going to affect what happens next cycle for you. And ultimately, it's going to affect what happens to your one life cycle and our one shared life cycle, because each cycle is a microcosm of the greater one cycle. So this is big stuff. If you don't do this work, you're fine. Remember, when you don't do the work and you just live in that contracted space, it's fine. The universe is patient. It doesn't care. Nothing's bad if you don't try. But when you do try and you do take on this work and you do follow these messages and we do it together, which is super powerful, something shifts. You create light. It's powerful. Okay, so the more you focus on this, the more you do this work, the more it's going to reflect into the future of your existence. The more it's going to bring you prosperity. The more it's going to bring us prosperity when we receive the message for the collective. So the work you do now is going to show next month. It's going to show next week for the new moon. It's going to show for all next month's cycle. It's going to show in the web of the one. The light that you choose to cultivate right now is going to affect us for eternity. And if you don't choose to do this work, again, that's okay. That's okay. But you have the opportunity right now to affect us as one in such a powerful and beautiful and prosperous way. So thanks for doing the work with me, you guys. Thanks for opening up this portal with me. If you think that this message could help uplift someone that you know, could maybe offer some guidance to someone in your life who is depressed or needing a friend, needing community, like all these amazing people here, or you know somebody who could enhance this message and empower this portal, because maybe you know some badass person who's going to supercharge this portal, send it to them. Share it with your favorite groups. Share it with your favorite light worker, starseed, yoga, meditation, consciousness groups. You know, let's get more people in the portal. We do these every week, and they've been growing. And again, the more we give our awareness to it, the more it's going to grow, right? So if you can help and send it to one person, two people, anyone who you think can appreciate it, and don't just send it to, don't spam people. Don't try to share this with just anyone. Use your heart. Use your heart of hearts, okay, to decide who you want to let into our sacred circle here, our activation portal, because it's every week, and we're building something so beautiful here. So I'm not asking you to share it with just anybody, but I'm asking you to take a moment to think who could really enhance this portal, or who could benefit from it. And then invite them, share it. I really want to be intentional about growing this community with you guys, because we have been doing this for years now, and it's time to be more intentional and understand just how powerful this circle is. I feel you all so much, and I'm very deeply grateful for your presence in the portal. Thank you all for your feedback on my books. I'm shipping some books out tomorrow. If you want a book shipped to you, now is a great time to reach out, because I'll be able to ship it to you tomorrow. My books are available on Amazon. If you are out of country, if you're not in the US, shipping can be very expensive. So as much as I'd love to send you a signed copy, Amazon has cheaper shipping. So totally up to you though. I do have people who are like, I don't care. I don't want to support Amazon, you know, so whatever you want to do. I have printed copies that I'd be happy to ship your way. And I sign them in the front. These are my books. The Royal Path 1, the Royal Path 2. This is on the major arcanum of the tarot. This is on the minor. You don't have to be a professional. You don't have to have any experience. Or even if you are a professional and have lots of experience, I promise this will offer a new perspective. What I've shared in, especially my new book, I've never seen before. I share very personal insights, and I share tips and realizations that I've come to along my tarot journey. And I've been on this journey for as long as I can remember, because to me, the tarot is not a deck of cards. Tarot means royal path, which is all of life. And as a little girl, I've always been able to see things. We'll put it that way. So this world of tarot, of the real magic, has always been a part of my life. And I really, really want to share that with you guys. And if you're still watching this, I know you want to share in it too. And I'm grateful for your presence here. They make really cool gifts too, if you know anybody who's into divination or tarot. I also have a course series if you're interested. My classes are super affordable and jam-packed with hours and hours of information. I have 60 to 90-minute classes on each of the major arcanum cards. You can purchase one at a time, a few at a time. You can purchase the whole course, which includes a couple of bonus classes. But it's all just recorded. I just need an email and I can send it right over to you. So if you want to dive deeper with your practice of tarot from a Kabbalistic lens, this is particular what I share. It's not the traditional tarot that you see today where you get a little book and you learn how to do a few layouts and now you're a tarot master. No, this teaches you about each of the archetypes, how to develop a relationship to each one, how to connect with them, because when you form that neural pathway of connection and understanding and compassion, it reflects in all other dimensions, and a bridge is literally created between you and this primordial source of energy, which would have otherwise been unattainable. So if you want to begin to understand this at all and maybe be able to do it yourself, then I'm happy to send you a copy. I'm happy to give you information about the classes. Yes, I do one-on-one readings. Please book ahead of time. Go ahead and private message me if you want to book with me, or email BexMagic Bex, B-E-X, Magic, M-A-G-I-C-K, @gmail.com to reach out and book for a reading. What other questions have you guys asked me? Yeah, if you have any other questions, just reach out anytime. I'm here for you guys, and I appreciate you, and happy to share in the magic, always. If you're not already a part of my private groups, I have 2 on Facebook. One is called the Royal Path, of course. The other is called Shabbat Crew, Shabbat Crew. And in that group, I share about Jewish mysticism and Kabbalah and the current Torah portion each week. And so that's been a pretty neat community. That group has really grown a lot, you guys. I love seeing y'all in there, and I love feedback. I love when we all get into a beautiful Kabbalistic conversation about the message of the week. It's so awesome. So thanks for joining me there. I'll see you guys in the group on Friday for Shabbat. Many blessings. Shalom.